So I would love to hear from you how those 7 months went for you. Did you go through any kind of struggle where you were thinking, oh, I want to go back home? How was the experience for you? And if you went through any such difficulties, how did you get out of it?
There were very difficult times while I was doing Sadhanapada. Like after, I would say, 3-4 months when I got sick during the Sadhanapada time, I got really, really sick, and there was a time the treatment was not going well and everything. I was like, I just want to go home at that point of time. And I actually took a break. I came home. I was so sick that continuously for 9 days I was having fever, and I was thinking, what would I do now? I mean, and my family people are just like, we are booking the flight. You just come. You don't tell us anything. And I had to convince the Sadhana people that somehow I just need to go home. I don't know anything, and it took me like an hour to convince them. And then they were okay. You are homesick. You just need to go home. Okay, and then I came home. I did my treatment. I felt better in 5-6 days, but something I felt that I just still want to go to ashram. I don't know. And after 6 days of staying at home, seventh day I took a flight to ashram. And at the moment I came ashram, first thing I went was in Dhyanalinga. The moment I stepped in Dhyanalinga, I felt I came home. That was the moment I felt. I told myself I came home. This is the moment. And that was the moment I realized, oh shit. Now what do I do? Now if I think that ashram is my home, and if I tell this to my family and how they are going to react, I've just kept this to myself. But I actually felt I came home after I came to ashram. And I was like, what is this? Like, how can it happen? Because now that I was home, I should feel the satisfaction of being at home. That is what I am supposed to feel. And I am feeling that no, ashram is my home. And yeah, so that was the realization I got. And so yeah, so after that, it was quite fine until it was coming till December. We were just into that zone that we just want to do Samyama, the preparations and everything was going on such a high pitch at that point of time that we were too much focused and everything into that. So time just flew, and that time there was no time to think about going at home or anything. And after Samyama, it was more of, I don't want to go home. For me, it was like, okay, this should never end. I got very used to everything, the people around, or maybe the system, the whole system of ashram. I got very used to everything. And I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to go with normal people. Because while I was going home, I don't know why I said normal people, but I feel that, ashram is some other world. If you stay there for a longer period of time, when you step out of ashram, it feels like as if we have stepped in some other world, because the people, the way they will interact with each other or things like that, it's very different. One thing that I used to actually notice every little thing that people in ashram do. The best part of ashram is the details and the small things that they do to bring up the ambience. And you have to be very, very, I would say, attentive to see those details. And I used to enjoy that the most. And I find that, that is the best thing in ashram, that even for example, I would say, the food that is served in Biksha hall that comes from Ashram. So in Shevanti and in Kondra, if you are sick or if you have the medical prescription, the food used to come to Shevanti, and then they used to give it in the dabbas and you have to eat it there in Shevanti itself if you are not well and everything. So there were times when I was not well and I got the food in Shevanti, and the food tasted very different. The same food that Akshaya prepares, it was like normal, and it was tasteless. I would say that is, and we used to discuss this with my roommates, like why is it tasting so different? And the same food, when you sit in Biksha hall and when you eat the same food, it is magic. It is something else. The whole ambience, because the ambience that is created in the Biksha hall it brings out the magic in the food itself, in the ambience, in the people around you, everything. I just don't. I'm just missing it now.
You can create it in your own home.
I do. I mean, yeah, a lot of effort is needed, but yeah,
Yeah,
it can be done
yeah.
totally. But I feel that Biksha is another temple that is over there. It's already, because once you are there, it's totally something else. It's magic. The energy itself, it's very
Hmm.
different in Biksha Hall, and the food that you eat, even if it is very simple food that you eat, even the juice in the juice break, it's something else. If you do the same thing with the same ingredients and at your home, it is very different. For me, I have been a non-vegetarian because the place that I stay, it's in near Goa, and we are like most of the days, I would say in 5 times a week or 4 times a week, we eat fish at our homes, like because this is what is there in our region of the state, and that is what people eat here. So fish and non-veg. But this was throughout in my whole life of 9 months. I would say the Sadhana Pada journey of 9 months. That was the first time in my life I had a vegetarian diet throughout
Wow.
my time, and I couldn't believe that I was totally fine and I was loving it actually. And now that I'm here, that has been the biggest challenge that is going on, like the food.
Hmm.
That is the biggest struggle, that I'm thinking, how do I balance that thing, because no matter what, even if I eat vegetarian food over here, it's still not matching up with the everything,
Hmm.
like the taste is another thing, but I would say the you feel
Nourishment.
very light. Yeah, you feel very light. The food is like digestible in a very different way, the ashram food.
Hmm.
And here, no matter what, even if you eat vegetarian, even if you eat whatever, it still feels a little heavy on the system, and maybe because of the different spices or something, I don't know what. But yeah, that is the biggest challenge that I'm facing after coming here again. I'm like, oh no, like, and because the whole system has changed in 9 months, and I'm like, I am not able to eat non-veg.
Hmm.
When I was there, I was not craving for non-veg or anything like that. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I don't know how will I go and eat non-veg again and all of that.
Hmm. Yeah, I understand. I also came from a family who was mostly non-vegetarian. And then, I mean, it was a journey to definitely shift to vegetarian. But the interesting thing was that when I came back for 2 years, I was strictly like, no, no non-veg. I don't want to see it. I don't want to touch it. Even I was in some way also judgmental
Mm-hmm.
towards people who were eating non-veg.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I realized that this was a limitation that I had, and that I was, my judgment against people was working against myself. That I was, I mean, I was feeling this judgment, and I was feeling bad. I was feeling negative, and they were enjoying their food. So I was the only one who was actually suffering from that judgment. So once I dropped that judgment, I went ahead and I had some non-veg, and same as you said, my body just didn't really like it.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to observe that, and I think a big part of eating a vegetarian diet is that, I mean, number one, you have to find your cycle. You have to
Mm.
find, what's the right time for you to eat, because at the ashram it's fixed 10 a.m. and
Yeah.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
But once you're out in the world, then you have to figure out, what's the right kind of approach in terms of diet for you, and you have to experiment. That's what I did. I tried to, like, well, what is the best, if I have early morning food, how do I feel? If I eat at lunchtime, how do I feel? Because each and everybody, like I said, I consulted Ayurvedic doctors as well, who helped me understand things that I should avoid doing.
Right.
And so that all together helped me. And I have to say that a lot of it also comes down not just to what you eat, but how you eat,
Mm-hmm.
and the kind of atmosphere. Because at the
Yeah.
ashram, there's silence, and you eat, like, you eat with people together. There's a certain chant that's going on in the background, and then the food is prepared by people who also are, doing certain sadhana, and the whole atmosphere is, there's a devotion which is going into the food. So
Yes.
if you can bring some of that devotion into preparing food as well, I would say that will make you feel much lighter, because if you treat food with a certain kind of reverence and devotion while preparing it, then it will act in a different way than if you treat food with, being on a call, like a lot of people do. They're on a call talking to somebody, or they're shouting that into the food. And so just try to bring some, like what we do is we play some chant in the background when my wife's mother is in the kitchen, just so we can create an ambience which is a little bit more conducive, or we do some brani at least, twice or once a week at least, through the house, through the kitchen, to cleanse the room, to cleanse the house, because I do feel that has an impact on us. At home, you have to be your own support system.
Yeah, amazing.
There, things are aligned in such a way, made in such a way that the support system is already established, so you don't have to take care of that. So it is a little bit more of an effort, I would say. But I mean, it's interesting what you said, that at home it's available. There it's also available, but there you make the conscious choice of not having it, and at home you're every now you're thinking, oh, it's fine, whatever.